Hey family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, keep that on your side of the street. Okay, it won't be acknowledged. So, family, in this video, I'm being guided to get into the topic on us trying to take a little bit more consideration, or introspecting a little more on our fears, right? And having the guts to acknowledge that a lot of us have created our lives and made decisions that were based on the foundation of our fears, right? Made decisions, made choices, decided something might be our preference over something else because of some sort of fear that we have or created or took on at some point within ourselves. Where have you, unconsciously allowed your fears to create certain limits and boundaries and no-go areas and things that you decide, this you will do and this you won't do. And a lot of the time those decisions are based off of you having some sort of perceived idea of a discomfort that might be associated to making a certain decision or moving in a certain direction that might be a little bit unfamiliar to you, or something that might bring a little bit of discomfort or unease to you for a time until you internalize it and realize down the line that it's really nothing to be fearful of. It might be a discomfort that is there to help you grow and elevate into something different. Where has this kind of allowed you to shape, or decide or gravitate towards certain people, certain groups, certain information, content, whatever it might be, places, choices of work, choices of activity? I'm sorry, I'm outside. There's a whole lot of noise, and it seems like whenever I want to record, it just starts getting louder and louder and louder. I'm gonna push through anyway. Where have your fears created your limitations that you're unconscious about? Where have your fears allowed you to stay grounded and stuck in certain places and in certain groups of people? Because on an unconscious and energetic level, you all share the same fear. You all have a fear of detachment. You have a fear of being alone. You have a fear of exploring out into things that might be of the unknown, that might be different, that might not resemble what you see and think and feel as familiar to you. Your avoidance of discomfort. Where have you decided to make certain decisions that put your avoidance of discomfort first, instead of making the decision that is more geared towards a future outcome, a future goal? Where has your avoidance of needing to be patient, needing to maybe cut back on certain things, maybe not feeling like you fit in a certain space of society to what your idea of fitting in is for a certain time to achieve a certain goal? Where is your fear of outgrowing yourself? And not knowing what is beyond what is familiar to you today, stopping you and making your decisions for you? something to think about, right? Are there goals you have in your life that you'd like to achieve? But does it mean that if you want to achieve those goals, you might have to, you know, make the choice to let go of a few other things, scale your life back a bit, you know, for a certain period of time, so that you can, you know, lessen the kinds of responsibilities you've taken onto yourself as well to soothe your fears in other areas, to achieve a certain long-term goal? Are we becoming afraid of achieving our goals as well? Is our fear of not meeting societal standard and the path that the system has laid out for us, you know, your fear of not achieving those things, causing you to put things off, tell yourself that you're older than what you are, convince yourself you have no time, convince yourself that you need to rush and, you know, materially have more right now than what reality actually is? Is your fear and your avoidance of discomfort or exclusion or whatever it might be causing you to make choices that put you into positions to unnecessarily withstand, you know, harsh situations, overworking yourself, committing to different kinds of things, putting yourself into certain life situations that, you know, your fear of not taking on certain things because of what society might say, you know, there's a whole lot to consider around the idea of fear and where we allow our fears to make our choices for us. Many might say we have a fear of succeeding. A lot of the time, I don't think it's a fear of succeeding, it's a fear of having to step outside the grain, right? And go against the grain and do what other people maybe are too fearful not to do, right? Sorry, the dogs are going again. I think someone might have just arrived. Take a higher perspective on your fears. Recognize as well that, you know, by you know, making your decisions based on your fears and creating a life that is based on your fears and engaging with people that are soothing to your fears and your avoidance of your fear of discomfort, those very things are going to push you into the experiences that will force you to have to break out of those fears and face those discomforts at some point. The universe will arrange things to happen in your life if you have other things that your soul wants you to do. If there are things that you keep putting to the side on the back burner and saying that they're not as important as what society has told you is important and you should be fearful of not engaging in because A, B, and C could, would, might happen to you. Where have you created boundaries in your life because of fear? Something to think about, huh? And I mean, it's something that it's not always the easiest to admit that that's what we've created out of our lives, right? Is a whole bunch of a chain of decisions that have always had us move away from the feeling of discomfort, when maybe having to, you know, face head on and touch on that discomfort and get over the hurdle of the discomfort is what will get us to a higher level of where we want to be or need to be to keep on elevating, right? But staying on the space and the level of comfort that everybody else somehow agrees on isn't going to encourage your growth, isn't going to also help you elevate the kinds of people that you engage in, isn't going to push you into a level of consciousness that helps you meet with new kinds of information, new kinds of spaces, new kinds of opportunities in life. Because we'd rather just stay in the space of what we believe is comfortable and what we believe doesn't challenge our fear of discomfort. Do you and your friends all vibrationally meet on, the level of fear that you hold? Your need to have to keep everything the same? Your need to have to stay within the same topics and boundaries of life so that you can reinforce your belief that you're doing the right thing according to the level of understanding of the people that you exist around. At some point it doesn't become sustainable anymore, and energetically, you'll have to break out of those things, and the universe has its own way of making those kinds of things happen and bringing certain things that you'll perceive as difficulties and think are cause to put yourself into the position of victim in your life, when really it might just be your time for elevation. So how can you take a step back and try and look at your life from a higher view and recognize how the circle that you exist in, called your life, is just made up of all the boundaries that you've created because of fear and avoidance of discomfort, of hurt, feeling excluded, being in a place that you think deems you to society as inadequate, someone who can't achieve. Or being put into that box that they have programmed you to believe. Something's wrong with that person. They must be depressed. Maybe they need to go and speak to somebody. Where can you break out of your boundaries and your limitations? Just in the smallest ways, in little small decisions that you can make and do differently. Where can you be more conscious about things that you have been unconscious about and just do on autopilot because of your avoidance of discomfort, or having to push beyond a boundary, or having to endure, be patient. Those are some of the big things that our instant gratification programming has created as a very big fear within us. And not only in the sense of having to need everything now, but intertwining it as well into society as something to feel shameful about if you don't achieve something as soon as possible. Everything has to be of a microwaved nature, right? And not made out of time quality and experience. Things to think about. So family, I don't want this to be such a long one, and I think it's something that we need to think about, and something that we need to allow to well, I think first of all, accept that most of our decisions are made off of the foundation of us being fearful and wanting to avoid our discomforts, or the things we perceive, that might bring us discomfort. And allow our lives to expand, and not have a fear of letting go of the things that seem familiar, or things that we've just sort of, even if they're not good for us, because we've become familiar and attached to them, choose to just keep them there, regardless of whether they're draining us of energy, regardless of whether they're pulling us down, holding us back, limiting our ability to perceive and be of a higher level of consciousness and meet new information and opportunities and people. Because sometimes the people you hang around are the very things that keep you in a space of consciousness or understanding that holds you back from being able to meet another, elevated group and type of people of a different consciousness and understanding, and way of being able to engage certain kinds of activities and opportunities that maybe the ones that you are comfortable in and have created your boundaries around, and your comforts around, are not able to perceive and engage certain things, because you vibrate on the same level of fear and avoidance of discomfort. It's a really big topic, it really is, and I definitely will have a few more videos in the future that will go into and expand on the different areas on it a little bit more. But I hope that this has done justice. I actually do not have my cards here with me today, so maybe this is just how it's supposed to be left today, to think about and have you reflect on. And I will see you in the next video, family. If you've come this far, please do hit the like button. It helps me out, and maybe someone else out there might need to hear it, and I need some, have some encouragement to, with having the courage to step out and just do something a little different and break one of their own limitations and boundaries. Who knows? Anyway, I love you all, and bye. See you in the next video.